Welcome to the Writer's Life. I forgot to put the light on. Place where you get the sight, sound, smell, taste of my particular writer's life, and where you get the truth about the writer's life. So smash the like button. No, subscribe first, then smash the like button, and tap the bell for notifications so that you don't miss out on one exciting video. So here's something I haven't talked about in a while because it's been boring. Hasn't been doing anything, and that is Bitcoin. All right, so before you run away, hear me out on this. But first of all, this is not financial advice. I never take financial advice, especially from someone like me, because I'm fucking terrible with money. However, this is just what I'm doing. It looks like Bitcoin has reached bottom. In other words, the price went from $69,000 all the way down to like $15,000. Now, like my son and I, we haven't stopped investing. We've been still dollar cost averaging a certain amount every day and every week, because it's inevitable that this digital gold, what I call digital gold, it's not a currency. They say, they're trying to set it up so that you can buy things with it or whatever. And I don't see that happening really very easily. I mean, you can, but anyway, I just see it as an investment. I see it as almost like buying property in New York City or something like that. But it's the perfect investment, number one, for a small businessman, full-time writer guy who doesn't really have like a 401k or any of those things that go with people who have real jobs, right? Second of all, it's deflationary. There's only a certain amount that exists. So, and every 4 years is a halving, which takes away, which cuts the supply in half. So it inevitably is always going to increase in price, even though it's volatile, even though the price is volatile. So for instance, right now we're just coming out of our, what they call the crypto winter, where the price was just way down and there were some scandals and the macro environment, like the war in Ukraine, and as soon as Biden became president and gave up energy independence and inflation and all this crap that happened, it sent everything downward, and even stocks and the NASDAQ had the worst year ever. But now we seem to be coming out of it. And while the price is still low, what I'm doing as a full-time writer is every day I invest whatever I can afford of my royalties into Bitcoin, because in about a year and a half, I would say, to 2 years to 3 years maybe, I would say it will probably 5x in price. And right now it's around 22,000, something like that, and change. It'll probably go down a little bit from at this point, which I hope it does, because I don't want it to go to the moon right now. I want to like collect it as much Satoshis. Bitcoin was created by an relatively anonymous man called Satoshi, or so the white paper says, or a group of people who call themselves Satoshi. I don't know. No one knows. So I want to keep investing while it's still cheap. And that's why I say now is the best time to start investing. If you've been thinking about it, now is the best time to start investing. In my humble opinion, again, not financial advice, I would only invest what you can afford to lose. It's just like the stock market. Invest only what you can afford to lose. And plan on a long game. The way I do it, I dollar cost average. And when I keep a certain principal balance, and when I exceed that principal balance in value, I take the profit, whatever the profit is. So the profit could be $10 one day, or it could be $100 one day. And it's the perfect supplement to an income if you're a writer, in my opinion. And it's fun. It's like fun, like looking at it and playing with it a little bit. And you can day trade if you want, but you better educate yourself on it before you do it, or you will lose your shirt, because that's gambling. I would not suggest you day trade, but anyway. But now's a good time. It's cheap. Institutions are buying back in. The retail sector is going from fear to not so fearful anymore. They're even starting to get a little greedy. So once the price, let's hope the price doesn't spike upwards, because if it does that, it's going to come right back down again. But let's hope it just sort of like stays steadily. It just starts rising up steadily. And that's all. That's all I wanted to say. It's a good time to buy Bitcoin. It within 10 years, it could be worth $1 million a coin. So you don't even need a full coin for this investment to work out for you. And like, if I were in the traditional marketplace, if I worked in the traditional marketplace, I should say, like if I had a real job, I'd probably be planning on retiring in 10 years. I'd probably say, okay, when I turn 68, I'll retire, right? That's pretty much the average age these days. People retire. So I look at Bitcoin as a 10-year investment. Am I ever going to retire? No, I don't have a job that I need to retire from. So yeah, I'm going to be going out with my boots on, hopefully writing like my 1000th novel at a ripe old age. Let's hope. All right, we got somebody's chiming in. Let's see. The Shadow Writer man. Venezuela is using Bitcoin. All the central banks said they would default. They didn't. Haha, you got it, babe. They said if they paid it off with interest. Banksters hate that. Yeah, absolutely. Venezuela, I'm not sure about it. Are you sure you're not confusing Venezuela for El Salvador? Because El Salvador, although I do know Venezuela is looking at it, and Brazil is now too. And El Salvador, everyone said that they would never be able to pay off their $8 billion loan or whatever. I don't know how that stuff works. And anyway, they did. They paid it off with interest, because in El Salvador, Bitcoin is considered a currency. And that's just the beginning. So we'll have to see what happens. Let's see what else Shadow Rider got to say. It might be. Yeah, I think you're talking about El Salvador, brother. But Venezuela for sure is getting into it too. And African countries are going to be, and all sorts of, it's going to be the wave of the future, and the central banks and your deflating dollar or your dollar that is losing value, rather, is all going to go away. What's this? I think you're right. Well, I think I am too. All right, listen, you guys. Screw these. Have a great weekend, and I'll try to come to you either Saturday or Sunday. All right. Thanks for chiming in, Shadow Rider. Ciao, ciao.